An artist like Modest Yahoo, the Hasidic reggae star, a year before anyone was listening, college students were going crazy about this artist. And everyone internally at MTV was like, what's going on there? But you saw the spikes on MTVU.com and the audience was interested. And that keeps us relevant. I think the moment we presume to know what they want, we become irrelevant.
Eight, 7, 6, 5, 4. We've gone for main engine start. We have main engine start.
On August 1st, 1981 at 12:01 a.m., MTV Music Television launched with the words,
"Ladies and gentlemen, rock and roll."
It's hard to believe that MTV has been on the air for over a quarter of a century. For the 15 to 25-year-old demographic, there are few brands that are as iconic or as well-versed in their culture.
This has traditionally been a linear television company for 25 years, which was a trendsetter, trend magnifier.
Of course, it's probably safe to say that no one back then could have predicted the challenges that the internet would bring to marketers looking to serve an increasingly fast-moving and often fickle audience.
Now, the big change for consumers is where you experience music is now largely where you're going to buy or consume music. And it's a finicky thing.
Two recent endeavors, Urge, an online music subscription service, and MTVU.com, the web version of its college cable channel, illustrate precisely how committed MTV is toward connecting with this audience.
Music has such a strong emotional connection to people, but we've always provided another layer of context, and so what we set out to do with Urge is try to create a new digital music experience. So it's not just about finding what you want, which of course you can do, but it's about finding stuff you might like as well. In a digital world, there's infinite shelf space, and we can give as much love to jazz and classical as we can to hip-hop. Urge is also a platform for emerging artists who you may not otherwise be aware of. And then community. Community is a very important piece for us in that no matter how good we ever get at programming to our audience, we'll never be as good as your friends. And so we ultimately want to be as kind of the land of a million DJs and turn the platform over to our audience fan base and let them do with it what they will. So on price, we want to give consumers choice. You can come in and buy a track one at a time for 99 cents or buy the album. But also, we're offering subscription tiers. And the idea here is the world is your musical oyster once you subscribe. You can download as much as you want and then take it all with you on your portable device. One challenge we have is around the notion of subscription. We think we're better suited than anyone on the planet to help educate consumers on what that means and have the means to do that, so we're pretty excited about that. For MTV, this is really important in that Urge really represents an opportunity to bring music back to the forefront of what we do at MTV Networks. We have the television screens, obviously. We've got online, and now with Urge really serves as our digital distribution platform for the future. So we cover what we call the 360 landscape and can provide those touch points for our partners across the board. From a marketing perspective, we've got our television networks in 100 countries and 165 million viewers per month. We also have great websites, MTV.com, VH1.com, and CMT.com, in which Urge is integrated as the digital music service for those brands. And so what you're going to see, I think, is unprecedented integration both online and on air, and weaving Urge into the fabric of what we do from a marketing perspective day in and day out to get the message out.
MTVU.com was slightly different than Urge in that while Urge was a new product, MTVU.com, also known as MTV Uber, was an innovative adaptation of an entire existing cable channel.
MTV had really thought about creating a channel for college students for years. I mean, over 10 years. Because when you think about the difference between college students and high school students, there's only a difference of 1 year, and yet in 1 year your entire worldview has changed. This audience consumes media in a very different way than other audiences, and they do live online, and they don't have a lot of time, and so we really crafted a channel that speaks to their lifestyle. So all of the programming is short form. You're never going to find anything longer than the length of a music video. We have 500 campuses waiting to get MTVU. This is a way that all of them through MTVU.com can watch the channel. And I think the more important part of Uber and our broadband approach is it allows all of our audience to be their own heads of programming. So they can say, you know, I only want the music, or I only want the programming about how to get a job. They create their lineup, and with one click, they can send it to their friends. The heart of our channel is new music from great new artists that are emerging from the college scene and from around the world, and then student-generated content. We really are looking for the best of, because we think content that we discover on MTVU can bubble up across all of the MTV networks, and therefore MTVU can really be a laboratory to discover great new talent. And that, I think, does make us different. In terms of the portals, I think it's one reason that it's kind of a luxury of working with at MTVU, because it's hyper-focused. We get to think about those 4 years of a student's life, and that enables us to kind of laser focus on what's going on, and hopefully not just entertain them, but be a resource. You know, in terms of price, it's free, and we wanted this available to college students anytime they wanted it. So unlike other cable channels, we don't charge anything to get it, and it's free to the students, it's free to the universities, and that pretty much takes care of it. I mean, for us, it's about getting it out in any medium that our audience can have access to it. But also, programming them means multiple platforms. It means reaching them on air, through our cable channel, online, through Uber and MTVU.com, but also through wireless and through our events. We do about 300 events each year, and it's really kind of connecting with them everywhere they are. I mean, promotion, our connection to work, it means about direct interaction. And that means getting inside the college bubble, which any college student knows got so much going on, it's sometimes hard to get through. Really being on campus, and that's either our VJs, who are on campus every single week of the school year at a different campus, or our events. We do over 300 events a year, whether it's bringing new music or VJ searches. We've got a VJ search going on right now. We often are looking to the campus for new content. Other things are our best music on campus, where we really go to all of our campuses and say, tell us the band that's bubbling up. Then we're going to give them a label deal. And you see millions of students voting, because the passionate connection they have locally is akin to kind of their own, you know, the sports rivalry that they care about. And we try to tap into that as much as possible. And we also have campus reps on many of our campuses who are out there kind of evangelizing for new music and what's out there. So I think through all of those touch points, our promotion works. I think the other piece of the promotion pie is new music. And we really work with artists and their fan bases, because when we bring a student to an artist to a campus, or do something called Backstage Pass, where we kind of give an in-depth story on artists, we let the students ask the questions. And we go to the fan bases and say, you love the Dresden Dolls? Well, you're going to know a lot better everything there is to know about the Dresden Dolls than we will. So we let students ask the questions and then put that programming on air.
One of the most innovative and amazing shows on MTVU and Uber is called MTVU Stand-In.
It really grew out of a desire to give our audience something that was unique and different, and something you wouldn't see on any other channel. And the whole idea behind the show is students are every day learning things and learning about iconic figures that are making history. And how incredible it would be if you were studying about the Oslo Peace Accords, and Shimon Peres, who's one of the key players in that, walks in the door and teaches the rest of the class. Or one of my favorites was a composition course. So people that are learning to write music, and they're all pretty advanced musicians, and it's only a class of about 20, senior level class, and the professor has to step out. In walks Sting with his band and talks to them about how he was inspired by Shostakovich and by Stravinsky, and pushes them in a context where they can have a serious conversation. It's about his knowledge and understanding of what's going on. And I think why it works is because there's a respect for the icon and the students. And Bill Gates knows when he's walking in that class, these kids are going to ask him tough questions about programming, and yet he's uniquely qualified to do it. So we're very excited about that franchise. And I think it's one that it premieres, like all of our programming, first on Uber. And when, you know, the Emmys created the new category for the first ever multi-platform programming that doesn't premiere first on TV, we were amazed. I mean, thrilled, honored that MTVU Stand-In was one of those 5 nominees.
As MTV looks to its next 25 years, it sees both opportunities and challenges.
We have no illusions that it's the beginning of a new era, it's the dawn of a new day, and it's going to take 3, 5, 10 years to move the needle for consumers. So the challenges are not only from our side, also the record labels are undergoing a lot of redefinition of what they're going to be about. The artists are embracing new platforms, so it's a very exciting time, but it's certainly not without challenge.
I think the opportunities with this audience are endless because this audience is creating the future broadband. They are out there experimenting and creating new ways to tell a story across multiple mediums, across many disciplines, and that's what's really exciting about this audience. And for us, we have something called a digital incubator where we give out grants of up to $25,000, where we say to our audience, you tell us what would be an interesting show or idea. We're going to give you $25K, which is real money, and you create it, and then you own the intellectual property, but we premiere it on MTV or Uber and give it a national platform. And I think more and more our future is going to come from this audience. So that's both a challenge and an opportunity because I think there's so much coming at them that it's really about clearing a space, giving them the resources to help figure out what's next.